Hi guys, Catherine Dow here, and this is the lesson plan I implemented in my classroom. I did mine for Culinary Arts 1, and the students had to create a dry rub, they had to use a piece of equipment called a mandolin, and they had to correctly deep fry during this lab. I really like doing this lab because it covers tons of culinary arts standards, some which that we would never be able to get to. The ISTE standards that I covered are Empowered Learner and Knowledge Constructor. This lesson was really great. It forced students to come outside of their comfort zone. It was a true project-based learning lesson where the teacher simply acted as the facilitator and the students really had to dive in and dig deep to problem solve and create their own potato chip. Students really enjoyed this. This counts as a performance assessment, which counts as a test grade, just 35% of their overall grade. So the students are graded based on a rubric that is created, and they have to follow all of those points in order to get a good grade. Students have to take a mandolin safety quiz. They also have to complete special paperwork so that they know what they're doing in the lab. And I'll show you guys photos of that. So I'm going to go over this little PowerPoint. So here you see a student. She has a rubric right next to her so she knows how she's going to be graded. And then she's actually filling out a lab planning form right here. And this planning form has the name of their potato chip, the description of the chip, an estimated cost, and then they only get the option to be able to use 10 ingredients for this. Most of them are dried spices. Occasionally kids want to use things like lemons and limes and stuff like that. I actually had one student create a key lime chip, and it was amazing. So after the kids fill out this form, then they're able to go to the next station, which is station 1, their spice mixture. Each station is labeled, and at the bottom it has directions for what the kids need to do. Because this is a performance assessment, they're really not supposed to talk to me or ask me questions about the specific lab. They are only allowed to ask me safety-related questions because I really want the kids to do this on their own. So here you can see I have pulled out all of their spices that they need. Here the kids are actually measuring out and creating their own blend. Then once they're done with that, they go to station 2, which is where they use the mandolin. At station 2 is the only station that they're allowed to ask for help because mandolins are very serious pieces of equipment. If you're not careful, you can actually literally cut the tip of your finger off, which I personally have done several times. Thank God I've never had a kid do it, but they're incredibly dangerous. So at this point in the lab, safety is the top-notch priority. Here you can see kids using the mandolin. I only have 3, so only 3 kids can use this station, and when they use the station, they are not allowed to talk. If they talk at this point, then they're asked to leave the lab. You see this student here slicing his potato. His potatoes are falling out to the bottom. In this bowl right here, they have their potatoes. They have to be kept in water. After they finish cutting their potatoes, they go to the drying station. They must dry their potatoes with towels before they can move on to the frying station because oil and water don't mix. If the potatoes are not dried completely, then the oil can pop on the students when they're frying. Then they go to the frying station where they actually fry their chips. A lot of kids like to fry. They think it's really fun. This particular student actually in the chef hat was having difficulties doing this lab. So I assigned him to this other student working in the deep fryer, and he acted as this student's peer helper. There was a little bit of a language barrier between the student in the chef hat and what we were doing, so he didn't quite understand what was going on. So I assigned him a peer helper, and he was able to go through the lab on day 1 and follow along to see exactly what he needed to do. And then on day 2, the student who was deep frying kind of reversed roles and actually ended helping him go along the lab so that he could complete the lab properly and effectively. One thing that you do not see here is the 5th station, which is where students come to me to get graded on their rubric. We sit down, we eat their chip, we go over what was great, what was not great, improvements, changes, all of that. And then students are required to get 3 other students' feedback on their chip. Overall, this lab went very well. Again, the only thing that I would change is making sure that I had ample equipment for the students. Getting 36 kids through in 3 days is almost impossible with the limited equipment that we have. Unfortunately, at this time, there's really nothing that I can do about that due to budget constraints. In the future, I would change actually the taste testing rubric and how the kids responded to that, because one of the questions is, when you eat the chip, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And the kids really didn't know how to answer that. So I would like to give them more knowledge and then change the format of that question. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope that maybe one day you could implement something like this in your classroom.